friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking you through my excessively disappointing March wrap-up. So March, I had huge reading plans. I was like, oh my god, 'tis the damn readathon is happening. I have a new TBR game that has to do with Taylor Swift. I'm gonna vlog every week. I am going to kill the reading game. I'm gonna read all 13 of these books and more. Ha, ha, ha. Depression came in and was like, no, you are not gonna want to get out of bed to go to work, much less come home and read or read on your lunch break. You were gonna sit on your lunch break and just like not do anything. I don't even know what I did. Watch YouTube? Watch TikTok. I watched TikTok. That's what I did. TikTok like ruins my reading goals. I don't want to delete the app, but there's a part of me that's like, okay, all of my hobbies have gone out the window because all I do is scroll TikTok mindlessly. So there's that. But March was really disappointing. I actually, a couple weeks ago, I think we had like 5 days left of March. It was a Friday. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a reading vlog and it's gonna be my redemption vlog and I am gonna finish all of the books that I started in March. I'm still reading those books. No, it's just not, it wasn't a month, and honestly, the reading slump continued and haunted me into April, and I just recently picked up a book, forced myself to read it, and was like, whoa, never mind, I want to read again. So I don't think April's gonna be impressive, but I'm hoping the reading slump is dying. I forgot how much I hate reading slumps, and I forgot how easy it is to like go a full day without reading and be like, I didn't freaking pick up a book at all. Like, I hate that. I hate that so much. During the pandemic, I was not slumpy at all. I know some people were. Lockdown just was the blessing my reading needed. I killed my reading goals last year because of lockdown. And now I'm like back at work 4 days a week and I don't read. I get home and I'm like, oh my god. So moral of the story, March was disappointing and this is the result of that. Let's just talk about it. I want to say I read more than 5 books in March, but I read 5 books in March. I haven't had a reading month that disappointing in a really long time, but it's fine, it's okay. March is over. March is over, the seasonal depression is waning, let's go. So first up, I read Kent State by Deborah Wiles. This is about the Kent State Massacre. It's written in a poetry narrative of sorts. What's very cool about this is that it's written from the perspective of, I think there's either, yeah, there are 2 students at Kent State, they're fictionalized, and one is more reasonable, logical, and one is very impassioned and very, like, has their mindset and sticks to it, and the other one has to be like, you know, you're misremembering again. Then you also get the perspective of like the townspeople of Kent and their perspective on what happened and kind of how, you know, when the shooting happened, they deserved it. Their perspective on that. You get the National Guard's perspective that came in, and that was, you get quite a few. And it's very just moving, well done, and I was completely from start to finish invested in this book. And it actually made me think I wasn't going to be in a reading slump in March. I gave this a 4-star. I don't think it was perfect, but it was very, very close. I enjoyed it a lot. Deborah Wiles just continues to be one of my favorite authors. I met her at YALSA and got her to sign this book, so I will be keeping this. If it wasn't a signed copy, I would probably be passing this on to someone else. But because it is signed by one of my favorite childhood authors, I will be keeping this particular book in my collection. Not because I think I'm going to reread it, but because it's signed. Next up, I actually listened to this book on audio. This is Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I gave this 4 stars. I love that she read the audiobook. I'm glad I had it on audio because I'm not sure I would have completed it without the audiobook. Yeah, it's really good. I love the little stories about Barack and Sasha and Malia. I think it was really fun and cute to learn about their lives and get a deeper look. And after I finished listening to the audiobook, I did actually go through the pictures. So it was nice to have the physical copy for that. But otherwise I am very happy I read it on audiobook. And I actually will be passing this book on. I'm just going to put it back on the withdrawn shelf at my library where it came from. So yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed reading it. I just know I'm not going to reread this. I don't reread a lot of memoirs at all, so loved it. Wasn't a perfect memoir for me. I don't know if I've ever actually read a perfect memoir, but I do understand why people love this book so much. It was very good. Next up, I read Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the third book in the Raven Cycle series, and I think I will argue that this is my favorite one. I really liked it a lot. This engaged me the whole way through. The first one I liked. I actually physically read that one and I gave it a 3-star. I was like, yeah, it's a fine book. Second one, less invested, listened to it on audio. Large portions I don't remember. Kind of zoned out, but then was like, I think I know what's going on. This one I listened to an audiobook. I've given all of them 3 stars. This was no different. It was a 3-star, but it is higher on the 3-star spectrum for me. I just liked it. I just thought it was really, really good. I liked the relationships present in this. I love the way the friendship has matured, the way that they've grown together. I love the way the story has taken a turn in this book. I just liked a lot of the elements. I am supposed to be reading the 4th one this month. I kind of forgot until just now. So hopefully I will be listening to that one on audio, and I have heard that it is the least enjoyable of the 4, so we'll see how I feel. Then I read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I listened to this on audio as well. I don't think I picked up I didn't actually read from the physical copy at all, but I loved it. I really liked it. This was the group book for the Tis the Damn Readathon, and it was one of the only books I was able to complete for this readathon. I did actually make bingo, so I completed the readathon, which is great. So happy for that. But, you know, didn't do as well as I wanted to. So I listened to Rebecca, the group book, and I loved this. I love Jane Eyre, a lot. So when you tell me that it's a gothic Jane Eyre retelling again, Jane Eyre's gothic, but it's a retelling and it's gothic and it's about this house and this dead wife, and oh my god, I loved it. It's basically about an unnamed main character who meets this man while in Monte Carlo, and he basically, you know, they hang out a couple times and then he's like, hey, marry me, come back to, what's it called? What's the sinister house called? Maxim de Winter. I love his name. Maxim de Winter. Ooh. Manderley. Manderley. The house is called Manderley. He's like, come back to Manderley, be my wife, lead the house. She goes, and she's basically just haunted by the memory of his first wife, Rebecca. And you have people like the main housemaid, mistress, head of house, who just fucking hates her. Miss Danvers fucking hates this unnamed character, and she just kind of deal with it. And I heard people complain about how timid she is, and yeah, she is, but I love it because she does come into her own, and she does kind of get you know what, fuck it, I don't give a fuck, you know, this is who I am. I'm haunted by this bitch, and maybe I shouldn't be with you because she's everywhere and I just feel like you'll never love me. And then some shit goes down and some tea is spilled, and it's just like Jane Eyre, where I kind of just got lulled into this false sense that I knew what was going on, and then it was wait, what the fuck? I didn't expect that. With Jane Eyre, you know, if you know the story of Jane Eyre, it's who's in the attic? What is going on? And then in this one, it's huh? I love that. I like classics that are a little bit boring and what you expect a classic to be, and then that just like take a turn and you're like, huh? What? Like, I love that. Because like in my mind, even though I'm a fucking English literature major in college, most classics, I know what I'm getting into. It's gonna be like philosophical, meaning of life shit. You know, it's gonna have a theme, an idea, and it's just gonna be like kind of poetic, written prose kind of. Not Jane Eyre and not Rebecca. Oh my god, I genuinely loved this book. Like a lot. Like a lot. So 4-star, it wasn't perfect, but I'm gonna be thinking about it. Just like I think about Jane Eyre still, I'm gonna be thinking about this book. And last up, I was able to finish Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is also written in poetry, it's written in poems. And it's about two girls, one who lives in New York City, one who lives in the Dominican Republic, I was correct. And they have the same father. They don't know the other one exists. The father dies in a horrible plane crash that actually did happen, but was ignored by most people because of 9/11. And it's really, really good. I gave this 4 stars. I didn't love it as much as The Poet X, which surprised me a lot, because going into The Poet X, thinking about it, it's not surprising, but like it surprised me in the moment. But now that I know, when I was gonna read The Poet X, I knew it was written in poems, and I was like, oh my god, I hate poetry, I'm gonna hate this book. And then I loved it, so I gave it 5 stars. This one, I was like, oh my god, I love The Poet X, I'm gonna fucking love this one. And I think it's all about just like my expectations were a little high with this, so I gave it a 4-star. I still really liked it. It was very touching. It was very well done. The emotions that they feel just feel very realistic and very believable. And I appreciated that. Like, they're not always logical, and that I appreciated that. However, I think my expectations were too high. This was my 5-star prediction, and I had to give it a 4-star, unfortunately. I really think, especially with, like, I think every book this month might have suffered a little bit from my reading slump. Because, you know, when you have to force yourself to read, in general, you're maybe not going to give that book a 5-star if you had to force yourself to read it just because you weren't in the mood to read. So that probably didn't help, but I did really like it. I think it's really beautifully written. I am going to be unhauling it, not because I didn't like it, but because I don't see myself rereading it. If I do feel like I want to reread it, check it out of the library. I'm gonna pass this on. But it is a really well-written book, and it's just, I love Elizabeth Acevedo's writing. I have yet to read With the Fire on High, but I can't wait to. And yeah, beautiful YA. Just really, really well done YA. So those are all of the books that I read in March, unfortunately. It was a very disappointing reading month. I don't think I've finished a book in April yet. It's the 9th, and that's not a good sign, but I'm feeling more motivated to read, which is a good sign. So I'm hoping April will be less disappointing, but we'll see. Fingers crossed, pray for me, send good vibes, all that. But thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, all the normal stuff, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye.